Hi, and thanks so much for joining me today. We are doing a look using this eye product by Chanel. I had a lot of questions about it, as well as 5 different concealers. So if you'd like to see that, please keep watching. So as you can see, I'm coming at you from a different day. The video will continue in a moment, but since last week when I filmed that video, a lot has changed. So I thought I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about kind of where we are. The global issue has impacted everyone to some degree. What I appreciate is that the people who I follow, if they are able to post, are still posting content. I really appreciate that sense of normalcy because I know with the news, there's so much of it. I know this is just a beauty channel, but I know also many of you have tuned in since the first time I posted a video, gosh, 3.5 years ago. So it has become part of your routine too. So that's why I will keep posting. And if I can post even more, maybe 3 times a week, I will try to do that, just because I know it provides a little entertainment, a little joy, a little levity from the day. I also wanted to let you know whatever I earned from this video via AdSense will be donated to a global charity that will help with what we are dealing with now. So I would love your input on that. At first I thought I wanted to donate to a local charity, but since the audience is global, I thought we could think about a global organization. So if you can let me know what you have in mind, I will definitely look into it and let you know which one we go with. I also may place another ad in the middle of this video just so we can generate a little bit more revenue, so that is even more that can be donated. Thanks for giving me a moment to address that. Please stay well, take care of each other, and let's get back to the video. So I went ahead and filmed how I use this because there were a lot of questions about it. I'm also showing you 5 different concealers on. I have them all on right now, and I thought I would do that because I'm doing a concealer roundup and I'm giving my thoughts on how it looks with foundations. I'll be applying foundation. I thought I'll film that tomorrow. I'll apply it with foundation, and this is my applying without foundation. So today I'm also collecting information about how it performs without. So I don't have any foundation on today. Now, when I did the look originally, the one you asked for, I did apply just a thin layer of foundation and a concealer. So it was a Pat McGrath concealer that day. And I had a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury foundation on. So if you want to know, that was the original. But this, I thought at least I could put the eye look together for you, and you can do whatever you want for the foundation. But then again, just concealers, no foundation today. So I thought I'd show you a get ready with me to show you the eye products in play and a couple of other new things that maybe you haven't seen me use yet. So if you'd like to see that, please keep watching. So completely bare face. So I'm gonna do this first. I've had some requests because some of you are new. I've done a video on it before, but I thought I would just show you my brow routine because it's really pretty quick. I figured it out. It took a while, but I just start with this product. It's the Wonder Brow in black brown. I've tried many from like Shu Uemura. They have one that's similar to this. It's a little bit more purpley, if they still even carry it. But I just brush it on like this, and I follow the line like this on the bottom, and then I kind of, as you can see, I filled it in a little bit, but then I brush it up like this. So that does a nice job. One thing you want to make sure to do is flatten the, let me see if I can get a background. Flatten the brush and then take the excess off so that you end up with kind of like a flat side and then it's narrow. Make sure that it's going like up and down like this. And then that's how I can also fill in and define this front edge. So then I just pull it along like this to the arch, and then you can fill it in like this, take the excess, and then brush down. This also has hold to it, so it also is a brow gel if you want to use it like that, but I like to use something else as a gel. So that's really super quick. I take the Dior Show Pump and Brow, and this one is in 002, and then I use that to kind of comb through. It breaks up any, again, excess material that's in there and gets the brows going the way I want them. I can make them fluffier when I back brush like this, so pulling them in the opposite direction. Takes them away from my face a little bit, gives them more of a natural look instead of flat against my skin. So that is really my brow routine. I go in with this pencil for more detailed work as well, and we'll do that a little bit later. Usually I'll do the step after I powder, but I'm doing it now because I feel like this is, okay, again, flattening. I feel like this is, I can't do it, not looking at it directly. I feel like this is the one thing on my face that changes the overall look. So again, I just go across and then I go up like this, trying to get the hairs in the direction I want them to go in, and then down. So that's really it for the brows. I'll go in and do some detailed work. Like it's a little bit light here, so I'll probably go in, especially after I powder, to do some more detailed work with this pencil. But that just lays the foundation and then gives the brows shape and a little bit of volume. Yeah, I think it is the one thing that changes everything in my makeup. Even though it's not a color or anything like that, it just defines and sets the frame. I'm gonna do something a little different today just because I'm testing it out and I wanted to see how these concealers do without foundation. So I'm gonna go, we have an evening event, so that is kind of the time I go really light with makeup, which kind of seems counterintuitive. Let's take the Armani first under the eye. This one is in 5.25. I'm just going to dot it underneath right here. 1, 2, 3, really lightly. This is pretty lightweight. Add a little bit more. This one doesn't go very far in terms of its coverage, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. And a little bit more. So as you can see, really, really lightweight. I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more. This one has a little bit of peach to it too, so this is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk side. Now we're going to take the Hourglass on this side. I chose these two under the eye because they are more lightweight than the other ones. So I don't, as you can see, have that much of an issue with under eye bags or discoloration. So I don't need as much coverage there. So we'll go in. I went a little heavy-handed on that one. I don't usually use that much. I don't know why I did that, but it's okay. The Beauty Blender will take the excess away. So again, a different Beauty Blender. I'm going to focus that a little bit more right here. Just need a little bit more, lifting right here. It is a bit of a risk to go no foundation, but that's okay. So this is the Hourglass side. This is in the shade Apricot. So again, this has more of a peach hue as well. So I think those are pretty good colors for the under eye area. Let's go ahead with the face part. So these two have been the ones I've been using on the face area to kind of test them out. The Dior Forever, and then also the Pat McGrath Labs. So I'll place them here. That's where I have discoloration and pores. These tend to do better in that area because they are a little bit more thick in their consistency. Their pigmentation is denser, and they don't emphasize pores. So this is the Dior side, WP3 or 3WP. So that quickly covers things up. Really skin-like. I do have some thoughts on the longevity of this versus the Pat McGrath. But tomorrow when I film, I'll really know because I'll be watching this tonight as well. I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit because the Beauty Blender is a little bit damp. Here's the Pat McGrath. Taking this one, this is LM12. It's a little bit more yellowy. Got a different Beauty Blender for this one too. Just going in with a little bit more of the Dior. So this is my technique for my hyperpigmentation. I like to go in with thin layers, thin it out, go in with another layer, thin it out, and just going back and forth until I get to the point I like it, because if I go in with one heavy layer, it doesn't look as nice, it doesn't look as skin-like. Finally, we'll go in with the Tom Ford Emotion Proof Concealer, and I'm going to use that on my chin and on my forehead. This one oxidizes though, so the color you see is not the color that I end up with. This one is in Sienna. Now this one's lifting off a little bit as I add it, so this is what I do if I have that problem. I'll put a little bit on my hand, I'll take the Beauty Blender directly into the concealer, and then I actually apply it with the Beauty Blender. So if you have that trouble where it's deciding to actually remove itself or the sponge is removing it upon application, then you can just take the concealer directly onto the Beauty Blender and use that to apply it. Kind of like the idea behind that Charlotte Tilbury concealer with the sponge. So essentially I've concealed everything but the exterior of my face and then my nose. Avoiding this area with makeup is a good idea for me because it brings about texture. So there we are, just concealer. I think you can see that the Pat McGrath and the Hourglass don't have the same sheen as the Dior and the Armani side. So I feel like I could get away with not powdering this side, but this side I would definitely want to powder unless that's the look you're going for. I do like to set, otherwise concealers will kind of move around on me. So I'm going to take Charlotte Tilbury. This has been my best powder so far under the eyes. I do get creasing with almost every other powder I've tried. This is in 2 medium. So I'm just going to powder under here. It does darken it a little for me just because it's a little bit deep, but the shade lighter than this is too light. So that's okay because I think that both of the shades under my eyes are a little bit light. So this brings it back. So I'm going in with this Power by Chantecaille. It is their limited edition Perfect Blur finishing powder. I did buy a backup because I love this so much. The texture is lovely and I keep hearing that their bronzer is like this, so I feel like I gotta get the bronzer too. But I'm just stamping in the middle like usual and then going outwards. I will powder my nose just to kind of bring everything together. There's a piece of glitter on my head from something. Let's see if I can remove that. Moving on to this product, it's by Chanel, it's in Desert Wind. This is one where they recommend just apply it one eye at a time. So we're gonna do one eye, and I'm just going to use my finger to kind of manipulate this and get it on my eyelid. And then I'm going to go in with a brush and just gently kind of buff the edges so it's a little bit softer. Okay, so that's one eye done. Let's move on to the other. And you can feel when it's starting to set, it gets a little bit tacky. So yeah, you don't have much time here to really play around. And this is one of those products that doesn't have to be perfect because it's so reflective that you can't really see the mistakes if you mess up. I went ahead and I tight lined with espresso, so let's do that. And then I went in the waterline with Cassis. I'm gonna go all the way to the middle. I'm gonna go underneath a little bit just to bring that purple color out slightly. And then I'm gonna take espresso and go ahead into the exterior V just to deepen that, and then a little bit above the lash line, just slightly. I'm not making a wing or anything like that, I'm just deepening the exterior so you can see it. I think I will go in with Cassis just above slightly that line so you can see the color a little bit more. Just a little bit higher than espresso. Okay, I'm going to do my mascara off camera. I will go in with the Dior Show 3D Maximizer. I'll go in with By Terry, and then I'm going to go in with the brown mascara by Chanel, just because I like the volume that I get with By Terry, but I like the color with the Chanel, so I'll be right back when that's done. Mascara's on, and I just need to bronze. So I took out this old Hourglass. It's one of my favorite bronzers in Radiant Bronze Light. Just taking on a Rain Morris brush. I'm going to, this is one of the things that makes a difference here, is to get it on my forehead, because if that doesn't have dimension, it looks totally off. So that's why we're adding that on. I'm also going to take blush, my very sad and still broken Charlotte Tilbury Love is a Drug. Very gently just add it onto my cheeks. I'm taking the deeper color on the interior of the blush and just patting it in here first, more towards the, like right under my eye area, right under the exterior of my eye. And then I'm going to take the exterior color, the lighter color, and just blend that all together. Again, I just pat here. I don't want to move that concealer around too much. That's why I do it like that. if you don't have the concealer issue I do, you can totally sweep this all around and not have a problem, but for me, I've got to just keep everything in place. I'm gonna go ahead with the lip now that I did that day. I used the Pillow Talk lip liner, Charlotte Tilbury, the original. And then I went in with this Chantecaille Coral Belle. So these two work really nicely together, and it's really emollient. So this is more like a gloss, like a lip gloss, but it's more, I feel like it's more like a balm than anything else. Okay, and finally, let's go in with this Chanel. I've been doing this on repeat. This is the multi-stick in Golden Light. So I put it on the back of my hand again, just because I already powdered. And I'm just gonna tap it on high points of my cheeks. Right on this upper part of my lip. Cupid's bow, I wanna say. I do wanna put a little here just to see what that looks like. Then let's fix that eyebrow really quickly. This is where a pencil comes in really handy to fix this eyebrow. Like this is having a problem. It's not connected. So I just go and fill it in. Little hair-like strokes. Okay, and this is the final look. So sorry about all of the lighting. It just was like very sporadic today, but this is like cloud cover at this point. And I think you can really see the finish, really skin-like. So I think all of the concealers do well for very specific tasks. Like I said, there is a dedicated video to all of these concealers in one video, so you'll see me apply it with foundation as well. But I think they all look really nice. So I hope that was helpful for you if you did purchase this. Again, just do one eye at a time. It dries really quickly. You can feel it happening in the moment, so just, again, one at a time is the best way to apply it. I would go with thin layers first and add, because if you add a thick layer, it does get a little bit chunky. So I would add thin layers at a time if that's what you wanted to do, because it does, even though it dries, you can't add on top of it without that being an issue. So if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks.